Today is my 6-year wedding anniversary, so I'm going to be sharing with you 6 things I have learned in 6 years of marriage as a girl who loves marriage, who does a lot of research, values it, and has learned a lot of lessons. Starting off strong with number 1, trust the man you married and allow him to lead even when it's hard. This really comes down to making sure you choose the right man for you and for your family, future kids. Any of that is so important. Really choosing a man that you know in thick and thin is going to stay with you, who is just has great character, has great morals. All of those things are so important because you really can't, or at least you're going to really struggle with allowing that person to lead you well if you do not choose a good partner for yourself and for any future kids. And so trust the man that you first married, that you loved and that you valued to lead your family, even when it's hard, even when you don't trust him, even when you think he is making the wrong decision. As his wife, it is important, I think, to honor your husband and to allow them to lead and sometimes even fail. And that is a hard pill to swallow, but I genuinely think that all men need this from a respect stance, and it also just allows them to have confidence and to just be built up amongst themselves to be able to properly just take care of you. So it is a little bit hard, especially when you first get married. It's definitely a rhythm that is learned, but it makes your marriage 10 times better. Okay, next is prioritize pursuing something bigger than yourselves together. So for us, this is Jesus. It's making sure that we make church a priority, making sure that we make prayer, reading our Bibles together, spending time with the Lord together and separately a priority in our marriage. This takes us out of a place of selfishness. It takes us out of a place of just looking through a lens of this is just a me thing or just an us thing, and kind of brings everything into a bigger perspective, gives you faith to lean on in times that are hard, all of those different things. But if you're not a believer, this can be something like volunteer work, serving others in your community in some way, just doing something to break up the mundane of just worrying about yourselves all the time. And I also think that this can draw you guys closer in general. Okay, number 3 is a really hard pill to swallow, but stop being selfish. One thing I've learned in marriage is that God will often fix you before he fixes your spouse. So stop looking at him and start looking in the mirror at yourself. And this is honestly hard, and it's taken years for me to even come to the truth of that I need fixing and that the issue might be me and not him. So yeah, it's something that is definitely learned. I used to spend so much time critiquing my husband and saying, well, you don't do this and you don't do that, and I'm always the one to do this. And honestly, it's just wasted time. Just do what you can to control, to do your best, and then in hopes that they will also get on board with whatever it is. Also serving each other well, and stop being like, well, you don't do enough for me, and so I'm not going to do anything for you. It's selfish and it's hurtful, and it honestly just doesn't get you anywhere. And I think inherently we are all selfish people. We all want the best for ourselves. We all want to feel loved and valued, and we all want our needs to come first. And even if you don't want to admit that to yourself, inherently I think that is something that is all within us. And so sometimes you have to bring yourself out of that box and do something for them even when they don't deserve it. And that is hard because sometimes they won't. You're going to go through so many hard times in your marriage, hard and good. It's just a constant ebb and flow, and you have to be willing to die to yourself and your needs sometimes to uplift your spouse. And you will reap what you sow. There will be a time where there is just a constant flow of the pouring and the refilling and the getting into a good place to where you guys are both prioritizing that. Number 4 is guard your marriage, prioritize healthy relationships outside of marriage with people who speak life over your marriage and not death, and also people who hold you accountable. Okay, this is so important. Guarding your marriage, not allowing people to speak negatively into your marriage, whether that's in-laws, whether that's friendships, whether that is coworkers, whatever the case may be. Not allowing people to speak negatively about your spouse, and not speaking negatively about your spouse to people who are not going to hold you accountable and not going to call you up higher. So not gossiping with your friends. If you have girlfriends who speak negatively about your husband, or just friends in general, literally run, because they're not good people to have in your life. You want to be around people who are going to pour into you in a healthy way and build you up, telling you, you guys do this really good in marriage, we can learn from you in this way, and also you guys could be better in this area. Whatever it may be, you want to be around people who are going to help your marriage to flourish. Number 5 is don't count the wrongs in your marriage. There will be a lot of them. Stop wasting time being upset about you having to be the fixer in your marriage, whatever the case may be. Hold up your end of the bargain regardless if he is or not. So if you're upset about, well, I have spent 10 times being the one to say I'm sorry and you never say you're sorry and it's always me, or whatever the reason may be, don't spend time counting their wrongs, because there's going to be a lot, and this is just going to get you in a place of toxicity and looking at all of the negatives in your marriage instead of all of the good things about your partner. We all have flaws, we all have things that are really ugly about us that need fixing, no matter how big or how small. And if you just focus on those things and focus on the amount of repetitive things that have happened, that's just going to send you into a negative spiral and look at your partner in a negative light instead of a positive one. So making sure mentally you are just not even allowing yourself to go there and to just count those wrong times in your marriage. Focus on the good and it will be good. Okay, and last but not least, this is probably the most cliche thing on the list, but it is important. It is prioritizing date nights, laughter, intimacy, and making each other a priority. This is all about flaming your fire. Think of a bonfire that you need to continuously add wood to allow it to grow and to allow the fire to become bigger, better, hotter, all of the things. If you are not making these deposits in your marriage of date nights, making each other feel good, making each other a priority, you are going to allow your fire to burn out. Getting in the roommate stage, whatever this looks like for you, it will happen if you don't make those deposits. And this is something that has taken too long for my husband and I to learn. We have just started making these things a real priority in our marriage consistently because we have seen the negative effects of when you don't. This is also where I think having a family vision and holding each other accountable to that can come into play, of having a conversation of, this is the way that we want our family to look like, these are our values, these are ways that we feel loved and important when you do X, Y, and Z, and sticking to that, holding each other accountable, and just making sure that you make it happen. Okay, so those are the 6 things I've learned in 6 years. I'm definitely not perfect. We're definitely learning every day, but I have learned a lot and I'm really grateful for my marriage. I'm grateful for my husband and I love being married. So hopefully this is practical advice that you can use or that helps you, just to implement these into your marriage and think about them a little bit harder. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And stay tuned for part 2. I'm gonna have my husband record the same video. We're not gonna know each other's cliff notes or what our 6 points are until we're done with the video and we both get to watch it and we'll compare.